of you with children who are moving into reception in September, there is something new that's going to be introduced after this Easter half-term holiday. I have got a little bit of an information letter that will be coming home with your child in their new file, but I just wanted to give you a little video to explain it in a little bit more detail so that you have an understanding of what will be coming home. Your child will be coming home with a home reader. This is in addition to their library book, and it's a very separate thing. The library book is something that they've gone and chosen themselves, and it's absolutely reading for pleasure. It could be any type of text, and it'll be quite often something that you might read and share with them, or it might be something that's familiar to them where they kind of already know the story already. But this home reader file that will be coming home with your child is specifically to support them with their early phonics ahead of heading into reception. So just to explain a little bit about them, because they do look different to the library books coming home. These texts are completely wordless, and that's absolutely on purpose. You'll see that they're mainly just made up of illustrations for the children. Obviously, we know that they're not at a point of reading yet, so they're not having home readers with any words in them, but it's really important, and there's a real reason behind the fact that there's just pictures in here. The main thing is that it really just supports your child's creative thinking and be able to start to think about and create their own story with the images that they can see. It supports children to start to think about the structure of a story. So as they're going through and looking at the illustrations, thinking about what's happening at the beginning of the story, what's happening in the middle, and what's happening at the end, what conflict has taken place, what resolution has happened at the end of the story, and really sequencing the story throughout as they look at the images. New vocabulary is something that is really promoted through wordless stories as well, by taking a look at the characters, what are they wearing, describing them, looking at everything that's happening, the background, where are they, what are they doing. It really just naturally opens a bit of a discussion where some new vocabulary might be introduced, and children are really seeing that in the context because they are looking at the picture directly as they're kind of having that discussion. So it's more than just kind of read a story from cover to cover. It's about pausing on the pages, having a look and a discussion about what they can see, and that opportunity for them to learn some new vocabulary as well, which is really, really important. Particularly looking at the illustrations, like I said, spending a bit of time on them, maybe looking for some clues, anything that they can spot in the illustrations that would help them think about what might be happening in their story that they are creating with the support of you, or maybe they want to have a go on their own as well. And that really helps when they then get into reception and they start to have books with words in them alongside the illustrations. If they do come across a word that they're unsure of, and they'll be using their phonics to try and segment and blend that word together, but they're not quite sure of its meaning, then they know that they've got the illustrations there, and unpicking those clues in the pictures can often help them to understand the word that they see. Ultimately, when children start to learn to write, having this time and this exposure to wordless stories where they can develop their own creative texts and their own creative story and their problems within them through the use of pictures really helps with that creativity when they come on to then do their own writing in the future and ultimately become story writers themselves. There's lots that they can then get from that, the character development when they've shared discussions about the characters and how are they feeling from their facial expressions, what are they doing, what do they look like, sentence structure when they have worked together to create their own sentences to tell their own stories. That really helps when it comes to writing. Obviously the new vocabulary that they've been able to learn, and the sequencing of a story, what needs to happen, what happens at the beginning, the middle and the end of the story. So all of that's really important, and I'm happy to help and answer any questions that you might have